Jono, your mother's on the phone for you. He was carrying a latte back into the open-plan work area from the dispenser in the corridor, and he might have blushed. Desi, at the desk to the right of his, held up the telephone for him. On the other side of his workspace, Chloe had twisted in her seat, had a grin, ear to ear. Maybe his mother was ringing to check he'd put on clean socks that morning. Might have been worse. He might have been ignored, and his desk phone left to ring unanswered. He gave them the finger and was rewarded with laughter. He could have been like Tracy or Chris, who sat on the far side and worked alone, ate their sandwiches alone, and went home alone in the evenings. For as long as he could remember, he had been Jono. There were documents, passport, employment contract with a department store chain, Inland Revenue, where he was recorded as Jonathan, but everywhere else he was Jono. People seemed to like him, and he wasn't short of company in the evenings. He would have said life was good to him, and... He slapped the coffee beaker beside his mouse mat and took the phone from Desi. Chloe rolled her eyes. Jono said, "Hi, Ma. I'm surrounded here by donuts and donkeys. Did you hear manic laughter and think you were through to a nut house? And before you ask, I'm wearing clean underpants." His mother coughed, her annoyance clear. "What's the problem, Ma?" He was told, not a problem, more of a miracle. His mind worked at flywheel speed as he identified the difficulties, then thought through the lies he needed to dump on the sour-faced woman who oversaw holiday entitlement in human resources. She said it again, as if she believed her son, aged 26 but still regarded as a child, had failed to grasp what was on offer and why. "Have you written down the dates?" "Yes, Ma." "Stansted would be best. That's where the cheapest go from. Jono?" "Yes, Ma." "Your dad and I, we've just too much on. Don't ask me to run through it all, but the diary's full and your father won't fly anyway. It's not so much for your Uncle Jeff as for your Aunt Fran. They just want someone there. Peace of mind, that sort of thing. Enough on their plate without worrying about the cat. It was premature of me, but I sort of volunteered you. I think we're talking about 2 weeks. It's important, Jono." "I'll call you back." "You could take a friend. The cat matters to them." He sat at his desk and faced his screen. If he had scrolled up or down, he would have stayed with the statistics of the company's home delivery vans, their mileage and routes from the 3 depots in the south and southwest of England, their annual fuel consumption and the price of the fuel. It was Jono's job to drive down the consumption and the cost. Desi did the driver's wages and worked out how to get more from their man-hours, while Chloe watched the transit of goods from warehouse to depots. They reckoned, all 3 of them, that they could have done the business with their eyes closed, but corporate discipline demanded enthusiasm. They both questioned him. Had he won the lottery, or had his father done a runner? He smiled, then gave a little snort, as if his mind was made up. He left the latte on his desk, with the mileage, consumption, and tonnage, and let a sharp smile settle on his face. He went out through the doors, past the coffee outlet and the cabinet that held the sandwiches, past the notice boards displaying photographs of employees, the times of aerobics classes, the office choir's practice sessions, and an entry form for a charity half-marathon. It was neither exciting work nor an inspirational setting, but it was a job. His parents lived in a village between Bath and Chippenham, a mile off the old A4 trunk road near to Corsham. He went home once a month and heard a regular litany. Which of their neighbours' kids were on a scrap heap, temporary or permanent, having failed to find work? Truth to tell, enough of his friends from university were out of a job, pounding the streets or stacking shelves and looking at dead ends. He went down 1 floor in the lift. How would he have described himself? Better, how would others have described him? Average, conventional, normal, a decent sort of guy. He made way for the director who oversaw that floor, and was rewarded with a manufactured smile. He wondered if the guy had the faintest idea who he was and what he did. It was the first week of November, a week when temperatures dropped, evenings closed in, leaves made a mess, and rain was forecast every day. Not the best time to go waltzing into human resources and demand time in the sunshine. Jono knocked on a glass door. He saw a face look up, a frown form, and matched it with a smile, a sad one. The frown softened. He was beckoned inside.